There is a new trend that might have your old company sliding into your DMs, begging you to take your old job back, or you sliding into theirs. Some analysts are predicting that boomerangs are the new trend following the Great Resignation. But why is it happening? What is a boomerang? And what impact does it have on your career? In today's video, I'm breaking down the Great Resignation boomerang trend and how to make it work for you. If that sounds good, tap the like button and let's jump into it. In case you're not familiar with the term, all a boomerang is someone who has left a company and returned to the company, just like a boomerang. But to really understand the Great Resignation boomerang, we need to take a look back in time and understand the context. In the spring of 2021, people started quitting their jobs in record numbers. In April alone, nearly 4 million Americans quit their jobs, which set an all-time high record, which was then broken in July and in August and in September. Now, while there is definitely a number of people that are quitting their jobs to freelance or start their own companies, or even to retire, a lot of people are calling this the Great Reshuffle because that more accurately describes what is happening for most people. When someone quits, they need to be replaced, which brings us to talk about the strange job market we're in which the number of job openings is outpacing the number of people taking those jobs. And as you can imagine, the 4 million people who are quitting their jobs are driving a lot of the open positions. And what we are seeing is companies struggling to hire. This is what is being referred to as the labor shortage. Now, what this looks like for you in your industry, in your role, is going to really vary. However, from the conversations that I've had, pretty much across the board, recruiters are having a more challenging time recruiting great people. And for a lot of people, in order to make moves, they're asking for more money, which is driving salaries up, which should be beneficial everyone. And companies needing to offer benefits that workers really want, like flexible work options and working remotely. And while open positions are still getting a lot of applicants, companies more and more are relying on their outbound recruiting strategies, which, from what a lot of recruiters have told me, is becoming increasingly difficult. Because it is an employee's market, people know that they have a lot of choice in terms of where they go next, and they have demands that need to be met. Otherwise, it's just not worth it for them to leave where they're at. Now, because some companies are seeing a high number of turnover, they need people in quickly, because this is going to have a real impact on the business operations. And this is where the conversations about recruiting former employees is really picking up. There are a number of benefits for a company that you used to work for to rehire you. Generally, it's going to be faster and less expensive to hire you, to onboard you, and to train you. You already know all of the things, right? Plus, you have a proven track record. They're not rolling the dice on an external candidate that they don't really know, or promoting someone internally who maybe has good potential, but they don't really know is going to be great in that role until they're actually in the role. And of course, in addition, there are some individuals who want their old jobs back. They were lured away from jobs that they were happy in, content in, by those recruiters who came to them with an opportunity that looked too good to refuse. Only they got in there and they realized they should have refused it. Maybe the working culture just wasn't the right fit for them at the end of the day, or the opportunity wasn't as good, or the thing that people aren't really talking enough about, maybe you stepped into one of the jobs that someone else was escaping because it was a bad work environment or it was toxic AF. And in some instances with actually some of you that I've spoken with is that something about the circumstance at the former company changed. Maybe the bad boss that you had finally left the company and it's safe to go back. There are a multitude of reasons why you might want to go back to your old job, just like there's many reasons why your old job might want to rehire you. And ultimately, I think that this could either be a great step in your career or a significant detour in which you crash and burn. So which one is it? and should you boomerang? Well, there are a few key watch out fors before you go ahead and take your old job back. I did a little bit of preparation for this video because I wanted to see what the research said. What was the career success statistics for boomerangs? And there actually isn't a lot of research, but I did find an article on the HBR website where they did do the research. And they looked at the things. And there was two key categories in which boomerangs underperformed both external hires as well as internal promotions. And that was on performance and turnover, meaning that boomerangs didn't perform as well as the other categories of employees, and they were also more likely to leave. After all, you've already left once, and just like how the statistics about accepting a counteroffer to stay at that job are against you, you're also more likely to leave if you've already left, making it an annoying detour on the way to your actual career success path. And that's why there's 3 questions that you really need to ask yourself before you go back to your old job to make sure that it is the right step for you and your career. First of all, why did you leave the job, and are the problems resolved? Now, if you left your job because you had this offer that looked really great and you got there and you realized that the job you had was so much better and please let me have it back, then there might not be any issues to resolve. But if you left because you were experiencing career stagnation, they weren't supporting your professional growth by investing in your training or mentoring you, or if you had a nightmare boss, if those things haven't been resolved, if there isn't a clear resolution to them, you're going to be walking back into the same problems. Next, I want you to evaluate it just like you would any new job offer. And I have an entire video that helps you evaluate a job offer to make sure that it's the right step before you say yes to that job offer. And finally, I want you to make sure that you're not going back to your old job out of resignation regret. Especially if you had been in that job for a while, or your new company is a very different working culture that you need time to get used to. It is very common to have regret when you quit your job and start a new job because your old job was comfortable. You knew the processes, you knew the product, you knew the people, and you knew the politics. And it's so much easier to fall back to that than it is to get up to speed at a new job. And let's face it, it's daunting to get up to speed on all of those things at a new job. Now, for this, you really need to pull apart if you're having resignation regret and new job jitters, or if you actually made a mistake. And to help you answer this question, I want you to go and check out this video about resignation regret right now so you know what you're dealing with. But before you go, if this video helped you, if it informed you about the Great Resignation Boomerang, tap the like button. Really helps my channel, makes you my favorite career bestie, win-win situation. And as always, my friends, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.